Welcome again to another live stream Weirdos. Today we have an interesting story that we're going to be looking at today. A YouTube mom who runs a vlog channel out of Utah, to my understanding, has been arrested for abusing her children, which, well, if you don't know the name of this channel, it would suggest that I know a thing or two about people in the criminal world doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. And if you know my background regarding the name of this channel, then you should know. This is a part of my expertise, but it's in a different state, so we're going to break it down today. We're going to look over what she was charged with. We're going to look over what she did to the kids specifically and what charges they put on her and potentially what it could evolve into. And then also some of the stories from, I guess, like the siblings, like the kids, the victims. I'm told, or at least I saw in an article that I briefly scanned over, that her eldest daughter got out of the house the second that she turned into an adult, whatever that is in the state of Utah, 17 or 18. And well, she had known about the abuse and was trying to get CPS and authorities involved. So this is my first ever, I guess, crime stream. Coin that phrase, copyright coins or crime stream. So I'm having a little drink. A little bit of tequila, lemonade. All right, let's get into this. Oh, we don't want this one. Do we? Or do we want this one? Do we want this one where I'm a tiny little guy in the screen? Or there's a little bubble of a dude? Oh. I feel like she's eating me right now. She's like, hey. All right. We're not going to eat Zbang. We're going to go to Goo. NPR. What does NPR have to say? Who is Ruby Frank? And what to know about the mommy vlogger? Ew, that just sounds oddly sexual. Who mommy vlogger? Accused of child abuse. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the other one. I'm going to do one-on-one. Let's change this up a little bit. Let's get me next to this thing. Woo. Cool. And that way we can read together without getting a headache. Ruby Frankie, Utah, say that 10 times fast. Utah YouTube star who spent the last 8 years dishing out parenting advice. Brilliant. Brilliant. How to better beat your child, perhaps? To millions of followers, was arrested Wednesday alongside her business partner Jody Hildebrandt on suspicion of aggravated child abuse. Police say that Frank's malnourished son escaped out of a window with his arms and legs covered in duct tape, fleeing to a neighbor's house seeking food and water. Oh, starving your kids. Not a good look. Not a good look. For some of Frank's viewers, the news is no surprise. Her videos have long sparked criticism, controversy, and claims that child abuse was unfolding unabated for digital views to enjoy. Here's a rundown of the situation. 14-year-old Mormon mother of 6, Utah. It's Utah. Everybody's Mormon. They're active across several social media platforms. She's best known for once popular YouTube channel, 8 Passengers. I wonder how many subscribers she had. And over 1,000 videos since the channel's launch in 2015. Frank documents sometimes intimate, sometimes mundane daily details of family life. Getting nearly 2.3 million subscribers in the process. Damn. Bitch doubled me. Maybe I need to abuse trainees on my channel. Maybe that'll get me some views. Some of the most watched videos of her show her children the most vulnerable moments of suburban adolescence. Learning to shave. Well, that's not too bad. Trying on new clothes. Whatever. Facing reprimand. I don't think that she's been excessive in the reprimand so far. Let's see. Frank, arms outreach, selfie-style toggles between speaking to the children directly, making eye contact with the camera, narrating a rationale for parenting decisions as they unfold in real time. Could you imagine that? Just sitting there with your parents and them being like, I need you to do this because, you know, it's better for you. It's better for him to learn this. And you need to know that, you know, drinking alcohol is what leads you to hell. It does. It's just a personal thing. It's for our family. And Jeremy, don't walk away. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to him. It just seems very strange. I never got... I mean, I don't really get vlogging channels, except Casey Neistat. I think Casey Neistat was one of the few vlogging channels that I kind of get along with. Well, that's old school. I haven't watched anything of his in a minute. Frankie arms outstretched. Oh, we already did that. Light references on traditional values. 8 passengers was removed from YouTube earlier this year. NPR couldn't find a publicly stated explanation for the move, but the takedown coincided with a noticeable uptick in criticism. What is 8 passengers and why was it so controversial? Even before the news of Frank's arrest, a string of expose-style videos, expose on blog posts from other creators catalog moment after moment of perceived toxic behavior. What do you mean? What do you mean?
I want you to then be thoughtful about what you think is going on. We are interested in when you feel
hopefully fake. Children, as we will see, they can't consent to any of this. Now, it's strange then how you can, you know, pick practically any video on the 8 Passengers channel and find something that just seems off.
Ruby and Kevin used Chad for more views.
That is very true.
I'm not gonna part of this thing.
What is this?
You know, I'm talking like instances of Ruby invading her children's privacy.
Asking all summer if she can shave her legs and armpits, and I
never said that.
Ruby put
I never said that. Oh, I fucking love kids. What a dirty mom. You're just one of those fucking people. One of those people that uses their kids just completely, just up till they're all dried up. Just uses them. Uses them as pawns to make them happy. It's called... I learned it from Jordan Peterson. It was a great term. I want to find it. It's called a devouring mother. Born from Freud's notion of penis envy, devouring mother compensates for her lack of a penis by having a son, then devotes all of her energy toward the care and satisfaction of his every wish. The devouring mother is so codependent, consumes her children, usually her sons, emotionally and psychologically, consumes them. Devouring mom. I will use you. I will keep you. You will maintain your life here around me. And if you don't, I'm going to abuse you. But we haven't gotten there yet. We haven't gotten to the abuse yet. And blog posts, we see that people have made videos about this already, saying that she's weird. There's some odd stuff. The family's kind of strange. Now, I will say this. You got some... If you grew up in the 90s like I did as a kid, and you had a dad or a mom that had the video camera with the VHS tape actually in it, and they wanted to record everything for, I don't know, just because they wanted to, then yeah, you're going to get weird stuff. That's part of being in a family, is being weird. And especially if you're doing it for 8 years, I'm sure that's going to be fine. They're going to find tons of cringy stuff. But that little girl being like, Mom, I never said that. Why are you trying to make this? This is about you and the channel, not about me. Devouring mom. Some of the criticisms take aim at the style of content altogether, saying that Frankie is one of hundreds of content creators who force children too young to consent to trade their privacy in for their financial gain. It's like child stardom. I mean, I would argue that it's probably safer than child stardom. Instead of taking your child and giving them to like a, Paramount or Fox or whatever sort of recording production studio, etc., you're at least watching over them directly. I know, it's like the devil that you know compared to the devil that you don't. But even then, I would say that I wonder what the percentage is of families that have that. Like what kids actually enjoy it and are like, yeah, you know what? It's just mom and dad recording stuff, and it happens to make us a little extra money so we can go to Disneyland every year 3 or 4 times. Fine, I'm cool with it, but I wonder how many of them get sick of it. And even if they say, I'm a 12-year-old and I'm sick of it and I'm tired of it, like, is it them just like pushing back because that's the only way they can push back is you're about to be a teenager and go through puberty and have your balls drop and start shaving your legs like mom said? I don't know. These family things are always messy because you don't know if it's just a kid acting out or a parent trying to assist them in their growth or trying to be financially stable, and why wouldn't they? There's so many moving cogs in these things, it's weird. But not in this one. In this one, it's disturbing. We'll read on. It's a common refrain in today's influencer discourse. Earlier this month, Illinois became the first state to introduce a law mandating child influencers receive financial compensation for appearing in video content. Makes sense. But other concerns over 8 passengers focus specifically on Frankie and her strict parenting techniques. Claims she openly abused her children in front of millions of eager viewers. In one video, June 2020, Frank's, then 5. I'm gonna call her Frankie and Frank. I don't know. Then 15-year-old son said he'd slept on a beanbag chair for several months after being banned from his shared bedroom for pranking his younger brother into believing he was being taken to Disneyland. That's hysterical. Where's the video of that? Where is it? Oh, come on. I hate that shit. Click on 30 different links just to get 30 different links. 8 passengers, skimming, seeing if there's a thing. The video called, but deleted. In a moment of vulnerability, story of redemption shows the victory of challenges he's faced over the last several years. It's deleted. Whatever. I think that's hysterical. We're going to Disneyland. I love how I just referenced Disneyland too. Psychic. An interview with Insider, Frank defended the decision to revoke her son's bedroom privileges, but added the beanbag comment had been taken out of context. The teen was given a choice of sleeping on a blow-up or pull-out mattress, but declined. In another video, Frank says she refused to bring food to her then 6-year-old child after the child forgotten her lunch at home. She defended that move, too, saying it was necessary to teach her daughter personal responsibility and that she was fed immediately upon returning home. See, these are things like where it's like kind of... like, I agree with it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give you an example. I got a friend of mine who's much smarter than me. He's a child psychologist. And he does negative, he talks to people that have got troubled kids. Obviously, he's a child psychologist or psychiatrist or both. I forget which. Anyway, he's a doctor. He's very smart. And he talks to people where they have, problem children. The kid keeps acting up. And one of the things is, what is it? It's like negative, what's it called? Where you discipline somebody negative. Oh my gosh. Negative reinforcement. There we go. Reinforcement. Good job, Richard. English. So negative reinforcement. And the basis between negative reinforcement is every time they do something bad, you take something away. And he had an extreme case. This is an extreme case where a mother was having a son that was, just not listening, not doing anything. And so she took away, like everything out of his room. Like it was so bad that he got his clothes taken away. So then she would, pick out his outfits every day. He would run around naked, but she removed the clothes from the closet. I'm picking out your outfits every day. Removing the, the games, the toys, etc. from the room. So then there's just all you can do is homework and read. Removing the door from the room because you've lost your ability to conduct yourself in a manner that I can't trust you in the privacy of your own room. You're gonna lock yourself in your room and freak out and not listen to me and play into video games and disobey me anyway. So now taking away your door to where there was like Nothing left in this kid's room except for a bed. Like, that was it. Something for him to sleep on. And then otherwise, everything mom would give it to him. And then, only then, did he start coming back and doing good things and then earning his clothes, his door, his toys, everything else. And then, so that's an extreme situation of negative reinforcement. So, but what I've gathered from some of the videos that these people have seen and are talking about, and the small minority that I've seen, is these kids aren't problem children. You wouldn't need to take away his bedroom because he's being disobedient. He's a 12-year-old spaz, just like every other 12-year-old boy. The 6-year-old thing I get. It's kind of heartless, but kind of like, listen, she's also in 1st grade. Like, if your kid forgets a lunch, like, do they go to a public school or a private school? Like, don't they provide lunch? Like, if they provide lunch, I'd be like, okay, cool. Like, I'm going to drop off $5 for my kid. I wouldn't let him, like, just not eat lunch. But, like, you get older. If this was like an 8th grader and they were like, I forgot my lunch, and it was like the 3rd time they did it that week, I'd be like, all right, dude, you're sorry. I'm not dropping off your lunch. You should have brought $5. Your mother and I have been taking care of you. Screw it. But a 1st grader? It's a 1st grader. How do you not go and be like, all right, I got to get this kid some food? How do you not tell the school, could you please supply her with the lunch? I will pay it back the following day. Give me a food chit. Don't let the 6-year-old starve. Although back in the day, you let those kids starve. One full school day of 3. She's in 1st grade. It's like 4 hours. Nope. You get it when you get back home. Suck it up, kid. You're getting a cold pickle. That's what you're getting when you get back home. So, like, in extreme circumstances, I get the bedroom privileges. I don't see it here. For the kid for getting their lunch, I see it if they're older. Like, and they've done it a bunch. Like, whatever. All right, listen, Jason, you 17-year-old sophomore. Like, your mom and I aren't dropping off your lunch to you anymore. You're old enough. Even 8th grade. Like, dude, you're in 8th grade. You should. Sorry that you're hungry. That sucks. Borrow a sandwich from a buddy. Even then, like, if I was in 8th grade and I forgot my lunch, which I'm sure I've done before, I've been like, yo, bro, can you spot me? Who's got a couple bucks? I'd find a way. Get an apple and make it through the day. But 6? 1st grade? Ooh. Ooh. Several other videos also show Frankie threatening to take away meals as punishment. I saw that too. Where is it? There's a clip of this.
Okay, Russell. Torturing him. Stop it. I know you're not, but it looks like you are. Okay, Russell. I'm only going to say it one more time, and then you're going to lose the privilege to eat dinner.
What? Hold on. They're roughhousing. As boys do.
Torturing him. Stop it. I know you're not, but it looks like you are.
I know you're not torturing him, but it looks like you are. Okay?
Okay, Russell.
Having a good time. Giggling with older brother. Roughhousing. That's good play. That's good for childhood development.
I'm only going to say it one more time, and then you're going to lose the privilege to eat dinner.
That's weird. Like, you can see you're going to lose the privilege to eat dinner. In a different scenario, if this kid was being a disrespectful little shit, being like, oh, you don't want to finish your dinner? Like, you can go up to your room. The rest of the night, you go up to your room. Probably give him dinner later on. Like I said, this kid's like 12, 13. If he was a high schooler and he was being an arrogant piece of shit, like, for all week and this was it, be like, no, upstairs in your room without dinner. I don't care. Go to bed hungry. Learn with it. But that's if they're doing something bad. Punishment, some would say. What is he doing bad here?
Torturing him. Stop it. I know you're not, but it looks like you are. Okay, Russell. I'm only going to say it one more time, and then you're going to lose the privilege to eat dinner.
That's a steep one. 2 kids roughhousing in the middle of the living room like they should be. A happy family. But because, what? They're not listening to you to stop? And then why? Why are you telling them to stop? You know what this reeks of? This reeks of that I need attention from the YouTube audience thing. You know what I mean? The devouring mother that I just kind of went over briefly, where she's no longer parenting to make her kids better. She's parenting the audience. She's parenting for the audience. This is a show. And now she told her kids to stop. She feels embarrassed that she was wrong. He's not torturing him. He's not doing something wrong. Torturing him. A little bit of a foreshadowing there. Maybe putting your issues on the child. I guess we'll see. Or maybe we won't, because we already know. But she's obviously parenting to the crowd. Because there you go. Oh, I'm showing them have fun.
I'm only going to say it one more time, and then you're going to lose the privilege to eat.
Look at me. I'm in charge. I'm the mom. I'm laying down the law. I'm giving them an ultimatum. This is my parenting style. You should follow it as well. Look at me. I'm doing great at the expense of my children's mental health. Let's carry on. Give me views. Mommy want money. God, you could just do a breakdown of this video for an hour.
Torturing him. Stop it. I know you're not, but it looks like you are. Okay, Russell. I'm only going to say it one more time, and then you're going to lose the privilege to eat dinner.
Mama's not joking. That's it. Bet you she owned dad. It wouldn't surprise me if she owned dad. I know dad's not perfect. Dad definitely let this shit go on. But if he was so emasculated that he didn't feel like he could get out of it, and she owned everything, maybe. I mean, dad should definitely be held accountable too. But then you've got this horrible question. What do you do with the kids? Foster care? Somebody else? You ready for some ugly truth? Sometimes leaving the kid with dad, even though he allowed the abuse to happen, is a better option than giving them up to somebody unknown and removing both their parental figures altogether. CPS has a hard job, and it's an easy job to mess up. I got to give it to CPS because they have to make that decision. You know, do you look at dad as dad just like some pussy that just gets walked all over by this crazy mom who's super manipulative and he didn't know what to do, even though he's a father and he should because he's a gosh dang adult, a father to children? Cholito says the kid should be fed no matter what while in school. I agree. Who knows if there's a food at home and if the school lunch is all they have? That's why there's school programs that have food. That's why most public schools have free, or I don't want to say most public schools. I know a lot of city schools that have the funding have free breakfast, lunch, and dinner for kids. That way you can assist the kids that have a hard time doing that. And I'm not saying don't feed kids. So let's be sure about that. Not saying don't feed kids. I'm not saying starve children as a punishment. I'm saying that if a kid kept missing lunch and being irresponsible at an older age where they should be, telling them to suck it up and figure it out when they're 12 or 15 for one day is whatever. But what this woman did is she made a 6-year-old in first grade suck it up and tell her she's not going to eat lunch, which is just weird and abusive. Is there more of these videos with Ruby Frank? I know they're probably going to be all reaction videos.
£99. You don't need any suckers anymore. You're too old. You're
too big.
Eve slept in. She's notorious for sleeping in. And she woke up and I thought, you know what? I'm not going to wake her up because every time I wake her up, she gets super grumpy and upset and I have to literally drag her and get her dressed. And she's old enough to do that herself. And she missed preschool. She slept in and she woke up and she's like,
What? What?
and I have to literally drag her and get her dressed. And she's old enough to do that herself. And she missed preschool. She slept in and she woke up and
She's 4! Yeah. Preschool. A 4 and 5-year-old. Grumpy in the morning. Amazing. Who would have thought that? Did you read a fucking book before spitting out 6 fucking kids, you idiot? I'm not going to wake up my preschooler because she's lazy and grumpy in the morning, and that'll teach her.
She's like, I'm ready to go to preschool. I said, you know what? Preschool's over. You slept through it. I'm sorry. And she's like, what? And I said, you need to get up and get ready if you're going to go to preschool because I'm not going to drive you out of bed. And she can't control when she wakes up.
Huh. I wonder if you watch enough of these videos, if you start seeing the children push back right then and there. Like if mom's live streaming or if mom is recording, I wonder if the kids know that that's the only safe time to stand up for themselves and say something because they know mom won't cut it or because they know mom won't bite back. They might get revenge. She might get revenge at them after the camera turns off and she turns off the thing. But that's saying something. If the kids are standing up to mom during the videos, that is something I would like to look into as an investigator. Like the camera turns off, the abuse starts. When do these kids feel like they can reach out and ask for help? Are they doing it at school? Are they doing it at a doctor's office? These are mandated responders or mandated reporters that have to say something if abuse is going on. They have their law enforcement as well mandated to tell CPS, hey, listen, this is what's going on. And then CPS and law enforcement work together to try and figure out if there is abuse. But that's interesting because we saw the son say, I'm not torturing, I'm just, we're just playing around. And then mom bit back. And now here's mom biting at the littlest one and daughter saying, standing up for herself.
Apparently she can. No, because I woke her up. Do you want to take those?
That's sass. Ooh, having enough. I love it.
And try? What about me? No, not, you don't have to try them on here. You can find a dressing room.
Those bras.
Mom,
That's awkward. I feel like that's one of those things, especially with mom holding it up in front of the camera. I feel like that's one of those things where she's parenting to the crowd again. Look at this embarrassing moment that my kids have. Your kids can have it too. Isn't this sweet and new and fresh? It's so authentic. But then there she is just dangling it in front of the camera. God. Emily says that their aunt and her husband want to adopt them. They already metaphorically adopted the oldest when she went no context. 2, CPS has been called so many times in the family, including welfare check that wasn't completed. See, I got to look at that. A lot of people say that like they call CPS and then nothing was done. These things take time. And especially if the parents aren't allowing them to see the kids, it's very difficult for CPS to do a job. Now, does CPS sometimes allow children to fall through the cracks? Yes, that's everything. And I'm not standing up for CPS. If this was some sort of misuse of justice or mishandling of justice, then somebody needs to be held accountable, right? If you can't be a good CPS officer and look at elements like this when a whole bunch of people are complaining or the kids are complaining or mandated reporters are saying over and over and over again, these kids are hungry, they're not being fed, they're sleeping on a beanbag chair at home even though they're wealthy. If the amount of information is important, and if a CPS agent had such a metric or a metric ton of information, such as the things that I just said, and then the investigation stalled or dropped or they found nothing wrong with it, then I would definitely take up an issue with that CPS investigator. People that vlog their entire lives make me uncomfortable because they use their family and kids to make money. Yeah, Dan, it's a double-edged sword. It's like, do you want your kids to go to college for free? Pay your kids college off and have a little fun and look at your family's memories? The AB family, they kind of remind me of like a group of people that came in at the right time of the internet. It's when I say AB, it's EHBEE. They're Canadian, and they had a daughter, son, and then the 2 parents, and they seem to be like having fun and chill with it. They started with TikToks, and like the kids are going to college for free, doing whatever they want to do, and the kids have been into it since they were little. But I don't know if they did a vlog. Maybe they did it later on. I'm not sure.
The worst night sleep of my life.
going to share some of their food with you, I don't think you're going to be able to eat. But if you're not responsible for your lunch and your lunch money, that's the natural consequence. And I'm really sorry you're learning this the hard way. My kids are not welcome to come live with me after they're 18. I am very straightforward about that. I told
all these things individually don't stand out to me, but all these things together stand out to me. I wonder if that was the little kid. I wonder if that was the 6-year-old that said, you don't have enough money, you need to be responsible. Like putting unattainable goals on top of a child is not necessarily abuse. However, failing to take care of a child, feed, shelter, food, shelter, like the bare essentials, right? Along with, not physically abusing them. Oh man, this is so weird, because if you just saw one of these things, it'd be like, a cringy family moment, or like a mom overstepping her bounds and disciplinary, if this is one-off things, but like all of these things together are just forming this hurricane of bad. David asked, what's safeguarding like in the U.S.? I've worked several jobs with children in the U.K. 6-year-old, no lunch triggered major red flags for me. Did the school not pick up on this and report it? See, that's one of those things where it's... Everybody has a different viewpoint of what's right and wrong and how to raise your kids, right? And then the law has specific statutes that you have to hit, right? Skipping one meal and being like, hey, listen, he just forgot his lunch at home. And like on a one-off day, like that's not abuse. It's not. Just by the law, by the letter. My kid went to school. He forgot to bring a lunch. I'm going to feed him when he gets home. It's not abuse. New York State, I'm sure federally, I'm sure in every state, a kid skips a meal at school, that's not going to be abuse. It wouldn't be enough to set off a red flag for teachers. That's why I keep saying this. These things are if these things were one-offs, it would be a non-issue, right? You wouldn't be able to look into it, because all these things are together, stacked together. It forms a larger picture that potentially could be abuse. And then we see this later on. Now, if, let's say that regardless of age, if a kid kept skipping lunch, kept not having lunch over and over and over again, then yes, the teachers should be able to recognize that. That would be a red flag. They could then call CPS. They're mandated to, because they think that abuse is happening, the maltreatment of a child, and then CPS would get involved. Everybody's saying it reminds him of the Daddy of Five situation, except the Daddy of Five situation was just an unintelligent man ridiculing his children and picking on them mercilessly as if it was a prank channel, as if they were adults that were in on it, not developing minds, not the developing minds of a child. Daddy of Five is just a disturbing piece of shit. He needs to go to prison, and he needs just to educate himself. That is a dumb person, and a morally twisted person to constantly like prank and do what he did to his kids, and definitely abusive. Like the one I think that had glasses was like, it was straight up emotional abuse.
told his friends, guess what you get to do in my house to show appreciation? You will be cleaning out
My garage.
Get back. I want this floor cleaned, tip-top shape. You boys do a good job, and I will treat you to
Yummy sandwiches.
Hair like that.
I mean, that's whatever. That's just mom cleaning the garage, right? Hey, time to clean up the garage. Let's clean the garage. But once again, this is momming.
To show appreciation, you will be cleaning out
My garage.
Get back. I want this floor cleaned, tip-top shape. You boys do a good job, and I will treat you to
Yummy sandwiches.
I mean, like if you just change the context of this, just the tone of her voice from being so snarky and uppity white woman, and just like said it like a dad, like, hey gang, listen, this is what we're gonna do today, all right? We're gonna clean my garage, right? We're cleaning the garage. I mean, my garage sounds weird. We're gonna clean my garage today. We're cleaning out my garage, and we're gonna get the tools right. And hey, if you do a good job, sandwiches on me. I'm making you lunch. We're gonna do it. All right, cool. Let's get at it. Now you would hopefully make that a group effort, and you would assist them. You wouldn't just let these children clean power tools by themselves. But I mean, whatever. Cleaning the garage is not abuse. That's the thing about the internet. Now they're just starting to throw random parenting things in here.
Hair like that.
Once again, not defending this woman. She's a piece of shit. She abused her kids. I'm talking about these one-off scenarios, and then we're going to continue reading on about
I told you to wash it so it could look beautiful today. You can't do
Yummy sandwiches.
Your hair like that.
I told you to wash it so it could look beautiful today. You can't do this.
There's like a skin flake in the spray.
Go upstairs and get your hair beautiful.
What do I do with it?
Dry it.
That's gonna take forever.
Well, now it is.
Mom, if we did forget our lunches, would you?
Weird, awkward, not abusive, right? Weird. But now, like, you got to be careful because, you know, your sister's in there trying to help you out and be like, yeah, there's a skin flake in this. You need to fix this. But if you watch some of these videos, like, are the kids learning to be manipulative and talk down to each other like their mom, right? I didn't really see it in that video, but potentially, right?
You bring them to us?
No.
You don't get personal space.
That's gonna take forever.
Well, now it is.
Mom, if we did forget our lunches, would you bring them to us?
No.
You don't get personal space because this is my space because I'm the parent. If you want your own personal space, you'll need to get your own space. This is mine. And as long as you're living in my home, it is my job to know everything about you. You don't get to sneak, you don't get to hide, you don't get to have secrets. Not in my house.
Do you see how loving that is?
Oh, man. So that's a disciplinarian style of parenting. There's nothing wrong with that. This is my house. You're the child. You have to respect me. You don't get to keep secrets. You don't get to do what you want. Like, you've got to follow the rules. That's okay. Now, her saying this has additional meaning of, if you don't do what I tell you, I'm going to starve you and beat you and duct tape you and put you in a closet. Foreshadowing, right? But once again, if you have a dad say this, I hate this. The one thing about annoying about the internet is you put a funny voice and a filter on it to make her sound like an evil person, which she is. She 100% is. But if a dad said this to his boys, you know, like a 14, 15-year-old boy and his 12-year-old daughter, and they're all like, they're acting crazy, go like, here's the deal. This is my house, not your house. You don't get to leave and go as you please. You tell me, because I'm in charge and I have to take care of you. Do you get the groceries? Do you buy the food? Do you do this? No, you don't. So this is the things that we're going to do so we can live happy and healthy together. There's nothing wrong with saying that. What's wrong is what she does when she disciplines these kids because they break the smallest of rules, like wrestling in the living room or forgetting their lunch when they're 6.
There was a time, I'll find a photo. I had just had Russell, and Julie was just crying a lot and whiny, and one day I looked at her and I'm like,
You just stink.
she had like peed her pants or something, and it was just because she was being
Neglected because I was totally paying attention to the new baby.
See, once again, like, these are things that people are taking out of context as if there's something wrong. Do parents pay attention to the baby?
99 pounds, you don't need any...
Than, you know, like the 2 or 3-year-old, possibly, because it's a newborn, because they need all the attention. Now, realizing that it's a mistake is good. Realizing that you shouldn't do that is good.
She had like peed her pants or something, and it was just because she was being
Neglected because I was totally paying attention to the new baby.
99 pounds.
And that's wrong. But see, it cuts out there, so I don't know. I don't know what she says. Ugh. Let's keep reading. Like, I'm not defending this woman's actions at all. I'm saying that, once again, there are red flags in her parenting styles. There are also just normal parts of parenting in this that people are using to make it look like she's nutso. But she is nutso, and we're going to read why and how she's nutso soon. Once again, not defending her or abusive actions. Not good. Total turd. Piece of shit. Should be locked up. Should have women do horrible things to her in prison because the exact same things that she did to her kids, so she can learn her lesson on how to treat people. That's it. There we go. There is Frankie threatening to cut the head off her child's teddy bear. Oh, I saw that one. Taking away children's Christmas presents and sending her oldest boy to a behavioral camp where you spend a minimum of 49 days in the wilderness with little gear. I mean, if we're worried about her abusing the kids, and we think that the behavioral camp is potential abuse, right? A survival camp, behavioral camp, whatever. Why would we not investigate the behavioral camp? See, that's not, God, I hate the news. That's why you got to read things and think for yourself. Is the behavioral camp actually an issue? No, it's probably just a wilderness retreat to try and get kids to be like, hey, this is how you be responsible. This is how we have to work as a team. This is how we, work together and blah, blah, blah. That's not abuse. Sending your kid to a behavioral camp is not abuse. Unless the camp itself is abusive. Anazazi thing? State of the heart wilderness therapy. This is the therapy that she sent her kid to, which the boy didn't seem like an issue in the one video that I saw him, but I don't know. Obviously he wasn't. She's an abusive parent. I'm trying to look at this as if I didn't know the ending, right? I'm trying to look at this as though, what is wrong though? I need to find the things that are wrong. What is objectively wrong? What is not somebody looking through a filter to say like that offends them? Oh no, it went away. Where'd it? Programs. No shit. Fuck. Healing Hearts, trusted, renowned, licensed, and Joint Commission accredited outdoor behavioral healthcare programs are ideal for adolescents to 17 struggling with depression. Struggling with depression, anxiety, self-image defiance, family conflict, mental health, lack of motivation, mild mood disorders, alcohol and drug experimentation, internet addiction, entitlement issues, and other self-defeating behaviors. So how can you write that up as like a bad thing? Threatening to cut off a Christmas present and sending her oldest school to behavior camp, which the behavioral camp sounds amazing. Why would you even put that in there? Take that out. Why did see this? Stupid. I hate that. Because now I don't believe you, NPR. Now I'm having an issue with you trying to make this as horrible as it sounds when you could do that on its own face with the horrible shit that you did to her kids. Not sending them to a nice camp where they can try to be good, better people. Anyway, cutting the head off her kid's teddy bear is disgusting. I saw that video. It was like the toddler. It was the 6-year-old. She's like, "You're not listening, so I'm going to cut the head off this teddy bear." And you're like, "What?" Around the same time, Frankie stopped posting on ePastor. She started appearing in another video series called Connections Classroom. Connections bills itself as a mental health curriculum and counseling service structured around the principles of impeccable honesty, rigorous personal responsibility, and vulnerability. The founder of the company, Hildebrandt, is a therapist who had her license suspended in 2012 as she disclosed a patient's porn addiction to the Mormon church leaders. You're already a piece of shit. Somebody came to you for help, you dumb turd, and you... God, the Mormon church is vindictive. All about forgiveness until they find out you did something wrong, and then they kick you out. Good Lord. Frank and Hildebrandt appeared together regularly in videos and podcasts, including as recently Monday. The two shared value-based lessons on topics like blame, control, and denial. Interesting choices of topics there. Matt says, I think he's agreeing with me. Matt says, she's 100% nuts and not defending her, but there are things that normal parents say that if caught on camera and cut into TikToks would sound absolutely horrible. That's what I'm saying, Matt. That's exactly what I'm saying. If you cut little snippety pieces out of 8 years of video, you could make any person seem like a horrible piece of shit. Now, she still is. She absolutely is. You don't need to cut the little stupid pieces out that have no context on her being abusive. You could just use the abusive parts and be fine. The YouTube page is moved Friday along with hers. Why were they arrested? Here we go. 10:30 or 10:15 a.m. on a Wednesday. Frankie's 12-year-old son, the wilderness kid. Oh, that come to bite you in the ass, didn't it, Mom? Oh, yeah, you taught him how to start fires and get out of fucking handcuffs and shit and survive on his own, and now he's busting out a house window trying to survive you. Frank's 12-year-old son climbed out of the window in the Hildebrandt's house. So this bitch is not kidnapping, but wrongfully imprisoning a child, potentially her child. She is assisting bad mom in the abuse of these children. Fantastic. Climbed out of the window of Hildebrandt's house in the city of Irvins, according to an arrest affidavit signed by Santa Clara Public Safety. He ran to a neighbor's home asking for food and water. The neighbor noticed duct tape around the child's ankles and wrists, called the police. The responding officer said the child appeared severely malnourished and sustained deep lacerations from being tied up with a rope. Disgusting. The boy was transported to a local hospital while police searched Hildebrandt's home. They discovered another child, Frank's 10-year-old daughter, who appeared to be malnourished. She was also taken to the hospital. In total, 4 of Frank's children were moved into the care of the Department of Child and Family Services, according to press release. Starving your kids. See, you get exactly what you deserve, just like the Joker movie. Frank declined to speak with officers and requested an attorney. No shit. The affidavit said the name of the attorneys for either woman had not been publicly listed on court documents as of Friday. A lawyer reportedly representing Frankie's husband did not respond to an NPR voicemail seeking comment on the publication. A call to the number listed at Connections was unreturned. Judge granted a detective's request that Frank be held without bail. Absolutely, because God knows what she would do to those frickin' kids. And even if you put a stay-away order in place, you know she'd break it. She's manipulative and crazy. Judge granted detectives bail. Both women are still in custody as of Friday morning, according to the Washington County Sheriff's Office. Oh, Michael Rega. Utah camps have issues, including kids dying. Mormon Stories podcast has an episode about them. There are other documentaries about them too. So this place, although appearing normal and sweet and amazing, could be absolutely diabolical. Potentially. Not saying that it is. Don't want to get sued by them. But there have been issues with Utah camps before, is what Michael is saying. Interesting. Sherry Frank, the family's eldest. Fire truck. There must be a fire. You can hear it. I can hear it. Sherry Frank, the family's eldest daughter at age 20, has not replied to NPR's request for comment, but has been posting about her mother's arrest on her Instagram stories. I did see that. Something about her walking out in front of the house with like the police, and she said finally, like that she was recording mom getting arrested and then wrote the text finally in the post. On Wednesday night, she shared a photo of officers at her childhood home. There we go, and caption finally, according to several news outlets that caught the initial story. That ain't it. Oh, they had a beautiful home. Let's see if we can hear it.
But she's in business with a woman who has gained a huge following online with YouTube videos.
Why is this quieter?
Getting hundreds of thousands of views.
So being a mom's a full-time job, but
popular Utah family vlogger Ruby Franke was arrested Wednesday. The 41-year-old mother of 6 is known for sharing clips of her children's daily lives on their now duct taped. He had wounds from being tied up. A neighbor called 911 when he showed up at their house asking for food and water. Officers say his wrists were duct taped. He had wounds from being tied up across his body. Investigators say they found a 10-year-old girl inside the same house who was also malnourished. Franke's family vlogs ended without a specific reason given. Franke now works for the Utah County company Connections along with Hildebrandt. It's described as a treatment program for those with mental health and addiction issues. Connections has been the subject of a lot of controversy, specifically for its teachings on parenting. Many of Franke's siblings are also online content creators. Her sisters released a social media statement saying, quote, "Ruby was arrested, which needed to happen. Jody was arrested, which needed to happen. The kids are now safe."
Something's not right about that. Something's weird. Something's weird about that it needed to happen. Yeah, no shit. What did you know about it? What did you let on?
Frankie's eldest daughter, Sherry,
This is the
posted
one. This is the
picture on
one where,
Instagram
why does it
with the
keep doing
caption,
that? Where she says, finally, I guess that's mom being arrested, potentially.
Finally. In the next slide, she said her family is glad justice was served. She wrote, quote, "We've been trying to tell police and CPS for years about this," end quote. The Santa Clara Ivans Police Department did not provide an update on the children's condition. According to the Washington County Sheriff's Office, Frankie is still in custody.
At this point, we know the Santa Clara Ivans Police Department is working with the Springville.
See, Sherry later shared that she and her family were so glad justice is being served and that be trying to tell police or CPS about this for years. She also called for help connecting links to questionable or concerning videos featuring her mother and shared a link to a Google Doc with public contributions. Yeah, that's another thing, is the internet is like coming up to like assist these kids, and a lot of people have saved the videos and they're scouring them for moments like that where mom says, "Stop wrestling with your brother and having a good time and causing no issues, or I'm going to send you to bed without food," which is damning evidence considering that he was malnourished and ran away and the police had to give him, you know, food, or the neighbor had to give him food and water, and then his sister's malnourished. So that's fantastic for the prosecution to be like, "Oh, really? You've never starved or failed to, you know, give food to your children? What about this video of you saying that you're going to do just that?" It seems to be a fairly regular occurrence that you discipline your children by not feeding them, right? On one occasion, not a red flag. Multiple occasions, that's how I discipline, by starving my children. Red flag, violation of the law, CPS notified, charges. She also Ruby Frank's three sisters, who are also family influencers, said in a joint that, yeah, that's weird too. Ruby Frank's three sisters, who are also family influencers. Like, I get it. Like, you are sitting there and you're like, "Hey man, YouTube's great. I'm doing these things with the family. Why don't you guys do it? Get involved with it. And then we'll have meetups, and then my fans will go to your family and follow you, and then my fans will go to your family and follow you, and then we'll just share all these fans. We'll all make extra money, and it'll be great. It'll be great for content." Well, for the last 3 years, we've kept quiet on the subject of our sister Ruby for the sake of her children. For the last 3 years, 3 fucking years, you kept quiet on the subject of your sister Ruby Frankie, for the sake of her children. Behind the public scene, we have done everything we could try and make sure the kids were safe. No, you didn't. You didn't do everything behind the scenes. You didn't. You disgusting pieces of shit. You saw and knew your sister was abusing these kids for 3 years, and you couldn't even just make an anonymous complaint to CPS or a video with your phone being like, "She's fucking not feeding these kids. Something's wrong. She needs some help." You couldn't even go about the route of like getting your sister freaking mental help. You didn't call the cops. You did nothing for 3 years. You watched as these kids were abused for 3 years. You are no better than her. You are no better than her. You should absolutely be publicly ridiculed. Disgusting. Let me say that again. For the last 3 years, we have kept quiet on the subject of our sister Ruby Frankie for the sake of her children. So what? You didn't want to say anything because you think that the kids are going to get beaten worse? How the fuck are you helping their kids? How are you helping the children by allowing them to live in that situation? You're not. That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. Eat a dick. Can't wait for the detectives to talk to you. I hope you don't lawyer up. I hope you spill the beans on everything, and you're all pieces of shit, and I hope that you all burn in hell and get your kids taken away from you, and hopefully they get the fuck out of Utah. For the last 3 years, we've kept quiet. Behind the public scene, we have done everything we could try and make sure the kids were safe. except call the cops, except call CPS, except do anything of substance that would assist these kids. My God, I would seriously, if I was the prosecution, I would seriously look into potentially charging those family members with some sort of negligence, some sort of reckless endangerment of a child by allowing them to live there and failing to report. It's, I mean, that's a dangerous slope. I know legally it's a dangerous slope, right? If I see a crime and I don't report it, now I'm charged. No, that's not how the justice system works. I know. So I don't think you're going to get any charges on mom. Like, that's my emotion speaking, right? There's the emotional part of me that wants these fucking shitty family members to go to jail too. But then the fucking facts, po legal aspect of my brain is saying, okay, but what exactly would a charge be for just watching some kid get the shit kicked out of them and not stepping in? Like, there is no law that requires you to stop a crime in progress. There isn't. I can't think of one if somebody in the chat, if somebody in the comments can give me an example of when it is a crime to not intervene as a civilian, not as a police officer in law enforcement whatsoever. A crime when someone does not intervene. The only time I can think about that is mandated reporters. If you do not intervene as a mandated reporter, you can be held liable. So the school could be potentially held liable. The aunts aren't mandated reporters. They're family members. They're not mandated reporters unless they're teachers. Unless their occupation is a mandated reporter occupation. Only then do I think they could be held accountable. See, you got to play like chess games with the law. You got to figure out, okay, like if not this, then what? If not that, then who? If who, what, then how? So potentially, if there were to be charges on the aunts for neglecting to call 911 emergency services, it would mean the potential for those charges would mean that they were mandated reporters. So if they're a mandated reporter, if they're an occupation that is a mandated reporter, potentially they could be charged with failing to report. That's the only way. That's the only way I see them getting a charge. Anybody else know how that could happen? That's the only thing. The kids are now safe, which is the #1 priority. No, it wasn't. It was keeping things behind the public scene for you. You said it right there. For the last 3 years, we kept quiet. Behind the public scene, we did everything we could. Because you wanted to do everything but make it a public scene. Everything but make it a public scene. Which was your #1 priority. Not creating a public scene was your #1 priority. Not the kids being safe. You're pieces of trash. You're garbage. Absolutely disgusting.
Me.
Oh my goodness, let me finish. She's talking for me.
You told me
Let
that
me
you
talk.
don't eat breakfast,
Let me talk.
lunch.
Let me talk. You asked a question, then you all went and attacked me.
Oh
my goodness, let me.
That's just a normal family fight.
I was 9!
Oh, that's weird. People are making now. People are like making. That's another weird thing. Is like people are trying to like pull at the heartstrings of the public and get views now on TikTok, which is disturbing. Don't just show me the facts. Don't start putting sampy music to it so then you can like pretend that you're a better person because you're getting views on your account. Like you're don't ugh, that's weird. That's so weird to me. Salty says his father are 2 amazing boys. I'm currently going through a custody battle. God bless you. He hopes the mother and the father get some absolute glorious cellmate justice. Me too. Me too. Passengers. Is this one of the kids? Like, God, I hope that's one of the kids, because this is super disturbing if somebody's making like a like an account.
Here's the deal.
That's weird.
Everything that comes into this house belongs to who?
Yeah.
Belongs to me. Everything. So you don't have a cell phone, you have access to a phone.
Okay.
Chad does not have a cell phone I took from him. He has access, which benefits were withdrawn. See? See how
God, vlogging is so weird. People don't need to see all the aspects of your life. That's not a bad parenting thing. Hey, listen, you don't own a cell phone, I own it, and you get access to it when I say you get access, and if you don't do it, see, like that's good parenting from a psycho. Like, crazy people don't just walk through the world stabbing strangers on the streets, right? They have normal tendencies as well. That does not mean that they're good people. That does not mean that they're doing the right things as parents all the time. They are horrible people. But once again, like, what's all that thing said? That's a good parenting thing. Stop taking bits that aren't the abuse and try to portray them as abuse. It weakens how disgusting and horrible this person is. If there's only if the only instance that this woman is a piece of trash, the only existence of evidence that this woman is such a piece of trash that abuses her kids is just the written down story of how her kid escaped out of the house, went to the neighbors, and that's it, then that's it. That's all you need. Don't water it down with fake bullshit, because now you're making the victim seem like life wasn't that bad, and you're making the perpetrator seem as though, well, that perpetrator doesn't really seem like they're doing that bad. I do that shit to my kids. I take away their cell phones every once in a while. Stop doing this. This account can, if the account is not like one of the children, I don't want to say anything, because I don't know if it's one of the kids. If this is how the kid's getting through it, then let the kid get through it. But, ugh. Stop. See, like this. This is weird. That's feigned excitement so that you can get attention. That's so weird. God, the internet's filled with weird people. Ugh. Okay, this is all the same shit. It's all this saving 8 passengers, which is really weird, and I do not feel comfortable playing any of their shit anymore.
So hold on, we got to do a little update here for a second. We got
I have therapy and I got kicked out of my school. Woo! Yeah.
Okay.
I have acne still.
Everybody's asking if you still have your phone taken away for the summer.
Yep, I do.
Yes.
Sadly.
And
it's not her fault. It's mine.
When will you learn, Chad? Actions have consequences. A lot of you guys say, "Oh, you shouldn't get mad at them for bad grades. They try their hardest." You, on the
I
other
did not
end,
try my hardest.
don't know that he
cheated on a test.
tried his hardest.
Is that Sister Jensen?
So no, I want to tell you this. No, listen,
Dude, that
listen.
kid's got ADHD. He's me
I
when
talked
was a
to the
kid.
principal of the school today.
8 passengers. Sorry, someone just yelled 8 passengers out the window. Little back.
Okay, are you okay?
Yeah,
Listen,
he's just a spazzy
I talked to the
teenager.
principal today.
And now you're not happy that you're.
And
Did he accept me back?
No.
Okay,
gosh,
good.
Okay, let me get 5 words in before you start talking. Very sad to see that you weren't coming back. The reason you're not going back to that school is because you chose not to.
Yep. I really did not want to go back.
The agreement was you can come back if you're humble and if you really want to be here.
I really did not want to be there.
The honest truth is, he's not humble and he doesn't want to be there. So,
look at that.
If you listen, oh my gosh, listen. If you change your
Just okay, parenting. God, the internet annoys the shit out of me. Oh, let's see her give parenting advice. Let's see
More
the psycho
information has come out in regards to Ruby from the family.
Oh my God. All right. I'm over it. I hope this disgusting turd rots in jail. She deserves it. This is the face of an American psycho. Like, yeah, there's telltale signs, you know, a dirty house, the kids come into school, They're not clean. They're not getting food. Their clothes are trash. Their shoes are trash. It's not just a poor thing where they don't have, the amenities to take a shower. It's that they're being neglected. This is equally dangerous, because this woman with this facade of having her life together would have ruined those kids for life. And they would have grown up thinking that the abuse that they got is normal and turned potentially to drugs, alcohol. Like kids that get abused go to drugs, alcohol, prostitution. It is a downward spiral and fast. And this is suburban camouflage for an abusive family. Dan says that everything is content. One of the worst things a YouTuber can say. Everything is content. You should not post private family stuff on the internet. I agree. You could post family stuff, but there's like you don't have to be Keanu Reeves and not post anything about your life, right? But at the same time, you don't have to be Will Smith and post you and your wife's marital issues and counseling on the internet either. You are going to go away. I wonder, what are the charges? What are charges? What are her charges? 6 felony counts of child abuse. Okay, but what? Is this what we just looked at? Get out of here. Get out of here, NPR. Did they have an update? Or am I looking at the same thing? Okay, looks like it's an update. 6 felony counts of child abuse. Blah, blah, blah. 6 felony counts of child abuse by Washington. Again, rest of last week. But what were these specific charges in Utah? Like, what were the codes? That's what I want to know, right? Child abuse is a very general term. Like, how were they abused? Was it neglect? Was it beating? Was it whatever? I'm sure that they only, like, based on what they got on that day of him being bound and malnourished, you've got the same charges for those 2 kids. Let's say those 2 kids only have, let's say those 2 kids are the only ones that show abuse that day, right? You've got the wrongful imprisonment or unlawful imprisonment, and then you've got the child abuse one of like malnourished, like they're malnourished. You could probably also have an assault charge on there, but that wouldn't be child abuse. You probably could have like a child abuse charge of too much discipline to where it's like beatings. So maybe those 3 charges twice, 3 for each kid. Copy and pasted for each kid could be it. But I want to know what the exact specific charges are of aggravated child abuse. Arrested, counseling that says approve. Yeah, be honest, go fuck yourself. The 10 and 12-year-old were starved. Duct taped. We already know that. Critics online. Let's go. Come on. Affidavit said the attorney had not publicly been identified Thursday. Them calling the business again. YouTube never commented. Let's look up Utah state laws, state laws. Yeah. Was it aggravated? Aggravated child abuse. Cool. Let's read the case law. Let's be smart, Joes. Child means, okay, so is in all legal documentation, they always have like the dictionary or definitions above. Parent. Okay, so, and then it also has defenses. No, I don't want justifications. I don't want the justifications. Here we go. Child violation, parent. Okay, so I don't want justifications. Why would I want the justifications? I want the charges. Physical injury, serious physical injury. Okay, here we go. Parent, guardian. Oh my God, you're killing me right here. Child abuse. Child means individual. Physical injury means an injury. So the Utah's legal criminal codes are a different flavor than my state, so I'm reading through this with you. Bruise other than the skin, failure to thrive. Okay, so here we go. So child abuse. 1, a minor laceration or abrasion, failure to thrive, or malnutrition. Serious physical injury seriously impairs the child's health, involves physical torture. There you go. Part 2. Serious emotional harm to the child. That could be 1. Involves substantial risk of death to the child. Probably not that. So we've got at least failure to thrive, the malnutrition one, physical torture, emotional harm to the child. Serious physical injury, no broken bones, no bleeding, no burns that we know of. A dangerous weapon, unsure of yet. I mean, a dangerous weapon can be any weapon, right? Bladed, anything is a weapon if you wield it. A wrench, a pipe, any blunt object can be a dangerous weapon. Combination of 2 physical injuries inflicted by the same person. Any damage to internal organs, conduct that results in severe emotional harm and developmental delay or intellectual disability. If these kids end up having some sort of depression or form of anxiety, that could definitely be it. It depends on what judge you get. And also depends on just when these kids go see get psychiatrically evaluated. Here's Acts chapter 5, part 1, section 109. This seems to be the same. Why is this one more worried than the other one? I feel like I'm not finding the one that actually has the individual charges. No, it's not going to be that abuse. What's this one say? What is aggravated child abuse? Burn, starvation, broken bones. State law applies to a person that's custody responsible to care. Penalties are aggravated child abuse and intentionally inflicted, 2nd-degree felony, 1 to 15 years in prison, or a $10,000 fine. No, see, how is recklessly a minimum? Oh, up to 5. Okay. By criminal negligence, no. So she intentionally inflicted 1 to 15 years in prison. All right. So she's looking at possibly 15. And I hope that she gets. It just depends. It just depends on what the kids say. It depends on how the kids are evaluated at some sort of assessment center or advocacy center. What did the children say actually happened to them now that they're safe? I would. And when they get interviewed, you're not going to have dad there. It's just going to be them and a forensic interviewer, which can be intense. But most of these people know what they're doing. Taking me the same thing. All right, cool. All right, gang. On that note, if you enjoyed this crime stream, the first ever crime stream on Angry Cops, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to support the channel, go to angry-cops.com. Get yourself a fantastic Angry Cops tumbler. There's large and smalls. Get a shirt. Support the channel. Heck, you can just support the channel by liking this or sharing it with your buddies. All right, weirdos. On that note,